Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joselle Jade if you're new here, and if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back to my video. I've been doing a series of a break into instructional design. I'm posting videos every Sunday, so today I just kind of wanted to do a question and answer of the questions I've seen come in over the past few weeks. I have literally been getting so many amazing questions in the comment section. Thank you for that. You all keep me going. Also, the inspiring comments. As someone who was once where you are, I'm doing it now. I'm happy to speak in my confidence and my experience and get that information out to you. But there's also some sort of being scared myself in putting this information out there. So interacting with you all in the comments truly keeps me going. But let's get into it. I'm gonna jump into about 5 questions, maybe more if I have time. I am running really low on time today. I'm answering the questions while speaking. One of the questions I get a lot, I've even posted a few videos on TikTok and I got the same questions. Do I need a master's degree to get into instructional design? And I've made a video on this, but I would honestly say that it just varies on the person. I've seen the discourse online where people say, in today's industry, getting a master's is absolutely necessary. I've even seen people who have broken into the industry have now gone forth and get a master's degree or a certificate. I have explained more times than not that I truly needed that structure of learning. I needed to be in class, have peers going through the same thing, have a professor say, this is correct, this is not correct, you're on the right path, you're on the wrong path. I needed that feedback to get through because I just felt clueless. And I also feel like there were not a lot of videos like mine with people who looked like me when I was trying to research. With that being said, I've now been a part of 3 different companies, 3 different types of learning and development teams. I have colleagues who have their master's degree. I have colleagues who do not. I have colleagues who were previous teachers. I have colleagues who have transitioned from like an HR function, or they just landed in learning and development. So take a deep look at yourself. Are you a go-getter? Can you be scrappy and get these things on your own? If so, watch my videos. Get my Break into Instructional Design Starter Kit. Get on LinkedIn, be scrappy, learn the language. If you're not, find a program. There's Purdue has a program, University of North Texas, a few Florida universities, University of Colorado. There are tons of programs out there. My program specifically, why I chose it, I was able to get my master's as well as 2 certificates concurrently. It took me about 1.5 years to complete the program, but I finished with a lot of accolades under my name, that was also important to me. Hope this kind of answers the question. The answer is it's up to you. Going based off of what I did, then yes, get a master's degree. Okay, another question has been around portfolios, and I do have a plan to make a more detailed video on portfolios, but I want to really hone in on that and go through step by step kind of what to do and show you all what to do. But I'm just gonna try to answer the question. What kind of portfolio should I build, or where should I build a portfolio? If you are someone who knows anything about instructional design, you know a lot of people think it's just a building deck. I want you to start there and think of, here's a deck that I would create in the past, right? How can I transform this deck into bite-sized learning or a larger learning? What can I do with this one deck to create a different learning experience for someone? A lot of companies use SMART goals, so let's go with SMART goals. If you created a deck on SMART goals, what platforms can you use to help you maximize that SMART goals content? I would start there. You could also create the deck and you can put that in your portfolio, but I would have a deck. If you are able to have a course of some sort, a job aid, so you can create a SMART goals job aid. Actually, I'm gonna show you one that I created for a previous role. And I would do not overcomplicate it. If you're a teacher, I'm sure you have tons of resources that you've created especially when I was teaching during the pandemic, we were using decks all the time. I had so many Google slides that I used that even in my master's program. So don't think of the portfolio as this big, scary thing. And I'll give you a tip. A lot of people in the industry, come closely, listen. A lot of people are too busy, tired to even do a portfolio. That was me once. I had so much going on that I just put building a portfolio on the side. So imagine if you are applying for a job and you have a portfolio. You may not have the experience, but you have a portfolio. You are already ahead of some people. So don't overthink it. Just put something out. In my last video, I said you can even make something that says how to make a PB&J sandwich. For a project we did in my master's program, I had to do a comic or a visual, and I just did little images on my iPad. Oh my God, what is that thing called? I don't remember, but I did how to make a sandwich, toast it, and I just did step by step. And that was an assignment that we had. Do not complicate this or overthink it. Okay. Another question that I get is, how do I transition out of teaching? Change your mindset. If you know that you are done teaching, you want to get into a new field, set a timeline for yourself. I am not about abandoning kids in the middle of the school year. So do not start another school year if you know that before the first half of the year is over, you're going to want to quit. I love people too much. I love kids too much. I want them to do well. So do not abandon your kids. Or yeah, that's my little spiel. For myself, I knew that I wanted to get out of teaching. And I knew that before the second half of the school year started, the spring semester. But again, I was not going to abandon my kids, but I knew I was not signing another contract to go back into teaching. And no matter what, I knew I wasn't going to go back. So I started to save just in case I didn't find a job immediately, and which I didn't, but start preparing. Save some money on the side so you know I'm not going back into teaching, but I have this stash of money to do XYZ. And again, this is literally what I did, so take this information with a grain of salt, but I'm speaking from my own experience. Build that portfolio that we just talked about. Sign up for a master's program if that's something that you want to do, and start talking to yourself like you are an instructional designer. Transform your LinkedIn. Create a banner for yourself that says instructional designer. Put instructional designer, learning experience designer, learning and development in your header. Just position yourself as someone who is into the field. Start to follow people who are in the field and start to apply. I have even seen teachers do customer success jobs. So if you're trying to break in, maybe you won't break into the role that you want at first, but if you're in the company, when I worked for a previous company, they had a program called Walk a Mile. So I started at a position that I didn't necessarily want, but I would position myself to do these walk a miles with people in other departments. But eventually, which is where I learned about learning and development, and now I'm in the field. But a lot of breaking into an industry is putting yourself out there and being scrappy, and knowing that nothing's going to come directly to you. It's not just going to fall into your lap. And sometimes it does for people. Didn't work out that way for me, but you have to put yourself out there, because who's going to know that you want to be an instructional designer if someone goes to your LinkedIn and they see a teacher in Ohio? They don't know that you're an instructional designer or you do learning and development. So, you want to make yourself found. Make sure you are open to work on LinkedIn as well. What's the first tool I should learn? This is, y'all know I love Canva, but let's Canva aside, what's the first thing I would learn? If you can get your hands on Articulate, I would learn Articulate Rise at least, but that is very costly. So let's just assume that people cannot do that. I would start to create PowerPoints, some decks. For a job interview I had to present a deck, and the topic I chose was gestational diabetes and preeclampsia, because that was something that was like fresh on my mind. I dealt with that in my own pregnancy. So I looked at the company that I was interviewing for, and they were very clean aesthetically. They used photos, like actual images, instead of graphics. So you want to pay attention to those things. This is a tidbit. You don't usually mix in your design work. So you don't want to have like a full-on image and then a graphic. You usually do either or. And as a designer, you start paying attention to those things. But I would create a nice deck. If you don't have to pay for anything, you can create an Outlook email. You get Outlook on the web, you get Microsoft Word, Excel, etc., all those things for free. I would start there and work on your presentation skills, work on your deck building, your transitions, your animations, you're adding icon, you're adding photos, telling a story with your deck. I would start there. And if you are someone who's very like savvy and you like to make things very pretty, Canva is a very good place to start because there are tons of elements there. And the last one, this one isn't necessarily a question, but I've seen some people say, actually, I'm gonna read the comment. Let me go to it. Okay, this comment said, "Thank you so much for making these videos. It's hard not to get discouraged with today's job market, but your content is helpful and inspiring." When I saw that comment, it literally made my day, because like I said at the beginning of this video, I also get nervous for putting this content out there. And as someone who was there in the past, how do you stay motivated in this pivot, in this job search? You're going to cry about it. I'm all for crying. I had a buddy, per se. My cousin was also she wasn't transitioning. She was coming out of school looking for a job in her field. And we were applying for jobs at the same time. I had someone to motivate me. I had someone to talk to because we were going through similar situations at the same time. So if you can find a buddy that can help you stay motivated, continue to watch my videos, because I am committed to inspiring and cheering you on until you break into instructional design. And what's the last way I would stay motivated? Don't overexert yourself. Do not apply to like 10 jobs every single day. If you can do 1 job a day, 4 jobs a week maybe, but you know that you are applying to those jobs with your best ability, you're tailoring your resume to each job, I bet you will see better results. Record yourself. This is another tip that I've had. Sometimes you think you're doing such a great job. Why isn't anyone hiring me? Well, it wasn't until I started recording myself that I realized why no one was recording me. My face would be like this. No kidding. I'm thinking I'm smiling, I'm coming off happy, and no, not the case. So know that Sometimes it is you. Sometimes there's just some things that you need to work on. And if you find that you're applying and you're interviewing, you're not getting any bites back, be real with yourself. That's something that I have been taking seriously this year in all aspects of my life. When I don't see a certain outcome, am I being honest with myself about how I'm going through XYZ? That is something to think about. Well, that was my 5 questions. So if you have any more questions, just leave them in the comments. I made a community post. You can put them under there as well. Leave them in the comments. I'm happy to answer all of your questions. Keep the inspiring comments coming in for me as well, because those truly help me and keep me going. And honestly, anything you want to know, I'm here to answer. I am thinking about starting a Facebook group. I'm a part of larger groups, and even I sometimes I'm scared to ask questions. So I'm thinking that maybe if there's a few of us, we want to start this Facebook group, and that way you can ask questions more often. I can probably answer more often. We can all connect with each other. You might meet people who are in the same stage or journey as you are. But yeah, if you're interested in any of those things, leave a comment, let me know. And I have created a Break into Instructional Design starter kit. If you want all the information in one place, you don't want to watch a bunch of videos, that's a great place for you to start. You can purchase it. The link is in my bio. I also usually leave a link in the comment section below. It's a great place to start. And I've been getting good reviews so far, so thank you to all who have purchased it. But that's all, and I will see you